Guidance on navigating EU customs procedures is published ahead of the UK-EU treaty. The GSD calls on the government to explain and justify the changes to the school calendar. Opposition MP Roy Clinton raises concerns over the use of the savings bank to finance private businesses. And the trial of a man facing multiple charges, including rape and assault, begins at the Supreme Court. Good evening. Guidance on navigating EU customs procedures has been published by the government ahead of the implementation of the Treaty on Gibraltar, which will see wholesale changes at the border for business owners, customs representatives and other logistics operators. The guidance is intended to ensure that all relevant parties meet the new requirements related to the importation of goods. It explains how to register for a Spanish NIF, which is a tax identification number, and an EORI, an economic operator's registration and identification number, both necessary for businesses with EU customs formalities, as Gemma Arias-Vasquez explains.
So in my walk-arounds on Main Street and the BTAG meetings that we've been having, this is one of the main questions that traders have raised. What this means is that we now have guidance notes issued which are agreed between the Gibraltarian authorities and the EU authorities, which tell us exactly how traders in Gibraltar will go about obtaining a NIF number and an EORI number. So the guidance notes are quite detailed, the forms that they have to fill in are quite detailed, and this will enable Gibraltarian traders to be prepared for the 15th of July with the codes that they need so they can import their goods into Gibraltar.
You've specified that this is only for traders who will be importing and paying their own transaction tax on their own purchases, not if they're doing this through a customs agent. What's the distinction there?
So smaller traders may wish to use a customs agent in the ordinary course that they would use it now. So they may wish to pay somebody to import the goods for them. So if the trader is a larger trader, they normally import the goods themselves, and they would, in that case, they would have to obtain their own NIF and EORI number. But if traders are using a customs agent, as they ordinarily do now, and are paying their duties through the customs agent, then they don't have to go through the process of obtaining an EORI and a NIF number.
For some traders, this may be raising some concerns about the prospects of having a NIF, meaning their business is registered in Spain. You've been quick to emphasise that this does not mean their business will be taxable in Spain.
Absolutely. And in the guidance notes, we've been very clear that the NIF is only an administrative procedure. So they obtain the NIF number so that they can then obtain the EORI number. But obtaining a NIF does not make you taxable in Spain, does not make the business taxable in Spain, and it doesn't make the business open to any administrative obligations in Spain. The caveat to that, obviously, is that if any business is being carried out in Spain, the business would be taxable in Spain in the ordinary way. But having a NIF number alone, if your business is conducted in Gibraltar, will not make you taxable in Spain.
We're now weeks away from implementation dates. The business community will still have questions. How close do you think we are to having everything set and ready to go for them?
So in BTAG, remember that we have BTAG fairly regularly. As soon as we have any update whatsoever, we'll have a meeting with BTAG, which is a business transition advisory group, to let them know where we are. So the NIF and the EORI numbers are something that we needed to get out information quickly because traders need to start getting the NIF and the EORI numbers. But there are other bits of information such as the warehousing arrangements, the customs warehousing arrangements for EU goods and non-EU goods, the forms, the procedure on the forms, and the general administrative arrangements that businesses have, which will be in place in the coming weeks. This is very important because we confirmed to businesses a while ago that they'd have everything that they needed by the 1st of June in order to give them a month and a half to prepare. So we are making sure that everything is in place by the 1st of June. The administrative arrangement, which is a formal document, will take 2 weeks longer, but all the guidance notes that businesses need, we gave assurances in the BTAG on Friday that businesses will have those by the 1st of June.
And you are confident that there won't be issues to iron out in terms of the understanding of this arrangement between Spanish tax officials and Gibraltar businesses?
These guidance notes have actually been agreed with customs officials on the Spanish side and customs officials on the Gibraltar side. So we are very confident that everyone is aware of the arrangements and that everything will be implemented so that it's seamless on the 15th of July. There may be some issues, but the guidance notes, as agreed between the parties, are very thorough, so we don't anticipate there to be any major issue.
Links to the documents published by the government are available through our website, and the publication of those further guidance notes on other aspects of the upcoming customs regime are expected in the coming weeks. The GSD is calling on the government to explain and to justify the changes to the school calendar which were announced on Friday. These will see summer half-days scrapped and a new midterm break added.
The opposition party says there has been insufficient consultation with parents and that families have been given very little time to adjust to the changes, which will see this year's summer holidays brought forward from the 10th of July to the 30th of June. In a statement, the GSD says the changes will bring an additional cost to many families, who may have to make what it describes as crucial childcare arrangements at short notice. The party is also questioning what it calls the wholly unclear educational reason for the reform, saying parents need reassurance there will be no adverse effect from reducing the number of school days.
Opposition MP Roy Clinton has raised concerns over the use of savings bank funds to finance private sector businesses through a charity-linked company operating outside of formal government control. He questions the structure used and asks who is benefiting from this financial support.
In an opinion piece in the Gibraltar Chronicle titled The Bank of Joe, Mr Clinton says Sir Joe Vosano confirmed in Parliament in January that savings bank money totalling over £50 million, according to the principal auditor, has been channelled through Community Credit Union Limited, a subsidiary of the Gibraltar Community Initiatives charity group. Mr Clinton claims access to the funding has been limited to a select group known to Sir Joe and has not been advertised to the wider business community. He says the government has declined to disclose who the loans have been made to. Roy Clinton says the game of smoke and mirrors is compounded by the widely repeated observation on Main Street that the savings bank has in recent months provided loans to a private business group that has been buying a considerable number of local businesses, at least one of which has a substantial government contract. He questions why the scheme operates through a private charitable structure rather than through the government-owned credit finance company, which he says already holds a money-lending licence and calls for greater transparency.
The Minister for Trade and Industry has welcomed investment in a new games development studio, which will offer local job opportunities in animation, software engineering and generative AI. Rock Tech Limited has been funded by Casino Admiral and Apex Pro Gaming, a manufacturer and operator of casino games and equipment. Nigel Feetham said Rock Tech had chosen Gibraltar as its innovation hub following government discussions on the basis of a shared vision around the future of technology, AI and research in this area. Mr Feetham, who was recently in Abu Dhabi to meet with international tech firms, has emphasised the importance he puts on the ROC's policy initiatives around AI in particular. The trial of Glasses Estate resident Johannes Green is underway at the Supreme Court. He's facing multiple charges, including one of rape and another of assault. Mr Green was arrested in November 2024 following an investigation by the RGP's domestic abuse team. In his opening speech, Crown Prosecutor Joan Fernandez told the jury that the complainant was vulnerable and had been subjected to a 2-year period of abuse, coercion and gaslighting. The trial is scheduled for 9 days. Mr Green denies all charges. You're watching GBC News. Still to come, the Sustainable Transport Action Group says there's mixed messaging on the active travel strategy. We'll be back in just a few minutes with more. Stay with us.
The moments that matter don't wait for Wi-Fi. From sharing big news instantly to streaming your favourite shows on the go, your connection should always be there. That's why we've made our pay monthly plans bigger, giving you more data at the same price, so nothing gets in the way of staying close to what matters most. Visit jibtele.com or call 200 52200 to sign up.
If you're looking for the perfect spot to enjoy breakfast, lunch or dinner, make your way to Bianca's Bar and Restaurant down at Marina Bay, where we've been serving great food since 1979. Our tempting menu and daily specials are available for dining in or takeaway. Relax and watch the world go by at Bianca's Marina Bay, the happiest place out of town.
Welcome to Cepsa Gibraltar, your one-stop station for every journey. Refuel fast, recharge your EV and drive cleaner with our AdBlue service. Step inside Carrefour Express for fresh food, drinks and daily essentials. From road trips to quick stops, we've got everything you need, all in one place. Cepsa Gibraltar, powering your drive every day.
Our world runs on momentum. From the first light over the rock to the plans we make for the days ahead, each moment carries us forward. For 150 years, Capurro Insurance has moved with that energy. Rooted in Gibraltar, reaching the wider world, built on the past, and looking to the future, wherever momentum takes you next. Capurro Insurance will be by your side, every step of the way.
Some things are too precious to leave to chance. At JT Security, we understand the value of discretion. With 24-hour surveillance, our graded safe deposit boxes offer you complete security and privacy. Furthermore, our competitive rates make it the most affordable in Gibraltar. JT Security, your valuables, our guarantee.
Welcome back. The Sustainable Transport Action Group has published a list of what it describes as misconceptions about the government's active travel strategy. Speaking to GBC, Stuart Headley said the initiative is not just about cycle lanes, but about creating safer, healthier and more economically resilient economies. Stag said it has taken this step following what it calls mixed messaging from the Department of Transport.
Yeah, it seems like there has been a little bit of mixed messaging that Stag just wanted to respond on. Stag being the Sustainable Transport Action Group. Now, we try and sit between the government and the community in helping the government to clearly communicate the benefits that they are trying to introduce to the entire community by the active travel strategy. So we've got an article coming out which lists all the points that we believe are being sort of potentially misconstrued by relatively small number of the community. I think most people realise that this is a strategy which will benefit all. But recent comments from the Ministry of Transport have sort of conflicted with our discussions previously with the Minister, who is very much in support of the active travel strategy.
Yeah, so when you talk about mixed messaging, could potentially one of those be where cycling now sits in the transport hierarchy?
Yeah, I mean, it was a bizarre message to come out of the ministry, we think, because it was a policy that was created by the government and very much supported by the Sustainable Transport Action Group. I mean, always we have the pedestrians at the top, and then other vehicles that are not creating congestion or pollution and are actively giving benefits to the individual and the community will obviously sit in priority above those vehicles that are detrimental to our community.
You say everyone wins from an active travel strategy, but only if the ministry honours its commitments. What in particular do you have in mind?
It was pleasing to see this week that we have finally started to see, after a couple of years after we saw Minister Val Ban leave his position, there has been very little. And when was that? 2023? I mean, we're now middle of 2026. And we're only just now seeing some stencils and some signage going up to raise the awareness of cycling in the area of Waterport Road. Now, there was so much work done by ex-Minister Val Ban with regard to plans that were going to extend the initial part of the segregated cycle infrastructure. I don't know fully now if the stencils and the signage is going to be the extent of what we hope to see in that area. And let's forget, we're trying to create a safe infrastructure to get children to school, for example, to allow parents not to have to be in their car to take those children to school, to alleviate the road network for everybody else. So let's see. And things like the Cycle to Work scheme, which has appeared in 2 of the last manifestos.
And Stuart, finally, on the subject of helmets, what's your understanding of what the situation is at the moment?
We do support the Minister in maybe advising parents to suggest for 16 years and under that cycle helmets are a very good idea, but there's no data really that suggests that wearing a helmet is going to make you safer. Data suggests that it will retard cycle adoption, which is the last thing that Gibraltar needs. And do we want to be the only European city and one of very, very few global countries around the world who have this mandatory helmet, which will retard cycle adoption?
An impromptu challenge at the Casino Galway Club's Burns Night raised more than £8,000 for the Red Cross. This year's event not only celebrated the life and work of Scotland's national bard, Robbie Burns, but also paid tribute to Colin McHarg, who for many years played a central role in organising the annual dinner and who recently passed away. During the evening, local banker Carlos Garcia was challenged to a slow dash by members of Gibraltar Rugby.
We've been doing so for over 10 years, and right from the first time we did the first one, we decided that a Burns night at the club should be something that would raise funds for charitable causes. Yep. We've been very fortunate for over that period of time. We've had fantastic support from members. We've had some great representation in the form of John Honeyman and Colin McHarg over the years. We were very sad that Colin passed away and was unable to join us. And this year was a very, very special occasion for us, therefore, in celebrating Burns Night.
Yes, I can't particularly remember what was said at that moment in time.
Yeah.
But what I do remember is that Chad quite liked what I said and challenged me to run the length of the pitch, the rugby pitch, up in Europa Point on the 21st of March, whilst there was the Gibraltar and Sweden international match, for £1,000. So I thought it was a good sum of money, it was a worthy cause, and I would do it. But of course, I looked around the room and I could see there was huge support for my endeavour. So I then asked a number of friendly businessmen and business community to support me further. So we had up to 8 sponsors, 7 if we had Chad on. So we collected £8,000 for my 100-metre, so we say, slow dash. Which, if you do the maths, is £80 a metre, which I think is very worthy cause for a great charity and to commemorate Colin, who has been such an important part of every Robbie Burns night we've had at the club.
Over now to this evening's lottery draw. First prize of £100,000 goes to ticket number 17455. Second prize of £10,000 to ticket number 01585. Well, third prize and £5,000 to the ticket number 01261. Congratulations to all of tonight's lucky winners. And finally, we finish with sport. It was a busy bank holiday weekend. Lynx FC confirmed their spot in next year's Futsal Champions League qualifiers as they claimed the league title. Team GB shooters were on the rock, and Gaba's under-14 girls made the final of the Gadis League. First, across to Poland, where Euro hockey was underway. Here's Jose Maria Ruiz.
Eagles and Grammarians both competed in the same competition, Club Challenge 2, and although they were placed in different groups, we did say there was a good chance both sides could meet in the crossover final, and as fate would have it, that's exactly how it played out. They treated fans to an intense and exciting match, but in the end there could only be one winner, and it was Eagles who were crowned champions with a 4-3 win. A historic 5th consecutive gold medal in Euro hockey competitions, securing promotion to Club Challenge 1, whilst Grammarians will remain in Club Challenge 2. Eagles goalie Joe Borge was also handed the Best Keeper of the Tournament award. Staying in Poland, Europa women also enjoyed a weekend that will go down in the history books. They registered the first ever wins from a Gibraltar ladies team competing in Euro Hockey Club Challenge 1. They first beat Luxembourg 3-1 before putting 5 past Copenhagen to cement their place in Challenge 1 next season. Gaba's under-14 girls team are through to the final of the Gadis League. They secured a brilliant 69-53 home win over top seed Seve Prado del Rey at the Tercentini Sports Hall, winning the tie 128-103 on aggregate. They now face Chiclana away in Chiclana on Saturday at 12.
Yeah, they were the top of the other group that we had, so we were a bit like, we don't know who we're gonna face, but over there we did well too. We got the lead, and then over here we've done absolutely amazing. Everyone has taken part in everything, and we're taking to the final.
The final now, I mean, what can we expect there?
Yeah, well, I think it's against Chiclana, who we haven't beat yet, but we'll see.
Yet, I like that, yet.
Gonna give them a good game, that's for sure.
Futsal and Lynx FC are heading to the Champions League preliminary qualifiers for the first time since 2021. They've put an end to Europa FC's dominant run of 5 in a row, beating their arch rivals 6-5 in a fierce contest in the third and final match of the best-of-3 final. Gibraltar's Target Shooting Open Championships took place across the bank holiday weekend. After 3 days of non-stop action, it was 2-time Commonwealth champion Dave Phelps who won the Prone A event. Gibraltar's Wayne Biddy pushed the Welsh shooter throughout and managed to finish in second place. The rest of the events were dominated by Great Britain shooters.
And that's all from tonight's news. More online, more on our social pages, as well as on our Radio Gibraltar news summaries on the hour, every hour. That's from 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. From the team, for myself, thanks for watching. We leave you with these images of RFA Lime Bay leaving the Rock for the Middle East. Good night.
We all love the sunshine and the outdoors, but UV doesn't take a holiday. So make sure you use sunscreen every day and check your skin, because early signs save lives. Protect yourself from mosquito bites too, to prevent infections. And don't forget your hand hygiene. Food poisoning is on the rise, so wash your hands before eating and after outdoor activities.
Steps from the marina on Bayside Road, a new landmark begins to rise. Architecture shaped with clarity and grace. A piazza alive with light and connection. Calm moments, lively moments, all in one setting. Interiors shaped with care. Elysium Bayside, a life of elegance. For more information, visit elysiumbayside.com.
Hi there, good evening. A lot of fine weather to come during the next few days for Gibraltar, and not as hot as it is across many parts of Western Europe at the moment, thanks to this very large area of high pressure that is continuing to dominate the weather across the UK, of course, bringing heat wave conditions across many parts of the south of the UK and exceptional, if not record-breaking temperatures, and that heat extending into France. And over the next few days, it continues to be hot for mainland Iberia, inland Iberia, seeing some very high temperatures for the time of year. But for Gibraltar, around that area of high pressure, we've got an easterly breeze. So Levante conditions continuing during the next few days, gentle to moderate winds. And after some early low cloud burns away, it's going to be another bright, if not largely sunny day, with temperatures reaching 23 Celsius. Staying dry throughout Wednesday, and yeah, there'll be some patches of cloud first thing, but they largely lift and clear, and then pleasant enough temperatures heading into the afternoon. Thursday's a similar setup with some patchy high cloud around during the morning, tending to thin into the afternoon with temperatures reaching 24 Celsius. And then Friday and the weekend staying very similar. The winds become a little lighter, a bit more variable in direction. Always the chances of patchy cloud during the mornings, otherwise staying sunny.
The traits for this job, you need to have bandwidth when the chips are down. So you need to be able to handle stress very well.
It's a great privilege to be able to recognise service to St John, service over and above what could normally be required, but also to see young people. What a great time it is for them to be part of such a strong community organisation, learning those skills to save lives, learning those skills to be good citizens. Such an inspiring and joyful thing.
You gain the experience, confidence, you definitely grow being here. That will help me loads, just being able to be more confident in the field when I'm older.
Helping out people is amazing, and it's always going to be a beneficial thing.
And there's no greater joy than being able to make somebody smile or being accompanying somebody in their illnesses and sickness, to be there for people, because there is great joy in service.
Yes, the powder room is back, and it's very soon, as from Monday the 1st of June, tackling all of those burning issues that affect all of us in our community. The powder room back as from the 1st of June, Mondays at 9:05, here live at the GBC studios.
Guilt isn't atonement, it's self-indulgence.